Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays issued a document encouraging submission of frivolous complaints against crisis pregnancy centers. As co-chairman of the Arizona Republican Family Caucus, I cannot let the record go uncorrected on this point. Attorney General Chris Mays is Arizona's chief legal officer, and she appears not to be aware of the law. Her claim that crisis pregnancy centers are perpetrating fraud or deceptive practices is untrue as a matter of law. Pregnancy centers have First Amendment rights, which the United States Supreme Court upheld in 2018 in NIFLA versus Becerra. In Becerra, a California law was struck down as unconstitutional because it required pregnancy centers to post notices about a woman's right to seek an abortion. Her publication does not cite a single example of any pregnancy center that has engaged in unlawful conduct. Her publication unjustly targets businesses operating well within the bounds of the law for no other reason but to advance a political agenda. We are calling on the Arizona Attorney General to retract her consumer alert issued yesterday. Once again, the Attorney General is abusing her statutory authority and engaging in a political stunt designed to encourage frivolous complaints against pregnancy centers. The Attorney General's decision to use her office's resources to publish material targeting pregnancy centers reflects her poor judgment and misguided priorities. The role of the Arizona Attorney General is to defend Arizona's laws, but unfortunately, she has refused to do so, requiring Speaker Toma and President Peterson to intervene in multiple court cases, requiring her to do her job. The Attorney General should be focusing on fighting the fentanyl crisis or suing the Biden administration over its unconstitutional open border policies. Furthermore, yesterday's document published by Attorney General Chris Mays appears to be coming from a reproductive rights unit. The legislature has not funded a reproductive rights unit for Attorney General Mays to engage in roving investigations of pregnancy centers that provide resources and education for women who are making life-altering decisions. Arizonans are not asking for the government or Attorney General Mays to micromanage their medical decisions and choices. I would like to invite other members of the legislature to comment on yesterday's document. My name is Neil Carter, a state representative for District 15.
Representative Barbara Parker, Legislative District 10. On behalf of women, on behalf of being mothers, I am appalled at the disinformation and disingenuous attack that has been done by Mays on women and on the crisis center. I think what it does is devalue the great work and the great service of one-on-one, holistic, comprehensive healthcare for women and girls. As somebody who is also vice chair of the Health and Human Services Committee, as well as a cardiovascular intensive care nurse with a degree in psychology, we cannot underestimate the power of the valuable care that women deserve, girls deserve from pregnancy crisis centers. I am appalled, and on behalf of women and mothers everywhere, I too add my voice to the rest of my colleagues here that she retract these statements, get back to her proper role of government, and allow women to seek out the need that they choose for their health care. Thank you.
Again, we would encourage Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays to retract her document encouraging frivolous complaints. I, for one, have personal knowledge that our pregnancy center in Santan Valley offers services for mothers and for babies, including free diapers, free baby care. They also offer classes in the English language for migrants who may need it. They are out there helping them to obtain employment, helping them to support their families, helping babies to thrive and survive, and helping mothers through a difficult period in their lives. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Yeah, so I'm curious as to what this, is there any steps that the legislature could be looking at if this escalates where, these complaints are being filed and now, these centers are being targeted? Are there any steps that could be taken at that point or even against the reproductive rights unit?
Like I stated before, the so-called reproductive rights unit is not a valid state agency. It's not something that has been funded. The legislature, of course, is in control of the funding for all state departments. And of course, the legislature will take a hard look at how the funding is being expended, particularly if it's being expended in violation with state or federal law, which I cited to earlier in my comments. Are there other questions?
What positive work they talking about here? Because you're saying like Chris, they might take action. What kind of action? Like what can you do? Is that like violation? What?
In my opinion, Chris Mays' document is a scare tactic that is intended to drum up complaints against valid organizations operating in our state, helping our citizens. And in my estimation, this is nothing more than a political stunt, which is to encourage disruption, really, of some of these services which are essential to mothers and families as they are at this point in their life.
So you think it's political motivated, or is it just subconsciously that's what she's doing? That's what she knows.
I think
it's very tough to think about somebody else. I need to ask her that question, but I'm asking you from your point of view.
from my point of view, Attorney General Chris Mays would do better to be addressing problems that affect all Arizonans, problems that are really catastrophic at this moment. Fentanyl comes to mind. This is something that is a scourge on Arizona that's creating all manner of deaths. And so instead of having a priority of saving lives, her priority is to drum up and encourage frivolous complaints against nonprofits helping women. I cannot answer for her, but I can answer for me and for my colleagues you see behind me who support the notion that the Attorney General is here to enforce the law and not to exactly.
You're the lawmaker. So I don't want to put on record. A lot of college students watch this. Just want you to know we appreciate you. Someone else here to come on.
Thank you. Are there other questions?
Okay.
Sir.
So I'm not disputing that these centers provide valuable resources, but is there not an argument that the consumer notice simply lets people know that they might be walking into an unlicensed facility before they get through the door?
Sir, I think that most people living in America today are aware of the situation with abortion, and I think that most people make choices with full knowledge and consent. And so your argument would be that people are too unintelligent to figure out where they're going or what decisions they're making. I don't think that that is how Arizonans are. I think that Arizonans are free to choose whatever help is best for them and their families. And I think that Attorney General Chris Mays does not need to interfere with that.
What are you asking? I'm sorry to interrupt. What are you asking her to do then? Right now,
We're asking Attorney General Chris Mays to retract her document from yesterday, putatively from the supposed reproductive rights unit encouraging complaints against crisis pregnancy centers. If there's no other questions, yes, sir.
With all the attacks on pregnancy care centers over the last 2 years, isn't it irresponsible for the Attorney General to put a target on their backs like he did yesterday?
I would agree. I would agree. Yes, sir.
One thing I want to add that under the Supreme Court ruling, and let me quote that one for you right now, pregnancy centers have a First Amendment rights under the United States Supreme Court upheld in 2018 in Liflaw versus Becerra. And again, Chris Mays is denying and thwarting the opportunity for women, girls, daughters to receive care. And I have a personal story, if I could, with that and share that. My father was an obstetrician and gynecologist for 45 years, taking care of infant and maternal health. And what he stated is when a pregnant woman came into his office, he immediately had 2 patients to care for. And it was paramount that both those patients received everything they could possibly receive. And what a blessing that these nonprofit organizations who have a First Amendment right, what a blessing and what a wonderful service they do for our community. Arizona is open to having resources for women who seek that out, and we are not going to close our door to that opportunity in any way.
Thank you. It's follow on to Representative Parker's statement. The Crisis Pregnancy Center, which I am most familiar with, is in my district in Santan Valley, and I can tell you that they have a sonogram machine, they have licensed technicians who operate it, and they're offering science-based care and treatment and so on at their center. So this is not about anything that's a valid complaint. This really is about a scare tactic encouraging these frivolous complaints. I appreciate everybody who is here. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for listening to us on this important topic.